Oh, here is I gotta find it. I put everybody's names into Tiny Decision Wheel. And this is all the names. So here is the draw for the giveaway for the Needle Minder by Brenda Needle. And here we go. The winner is Tall Grass Lane Stitches. Awesome. Yay. Tall Grass Lane Stitches. Yay. I'll do a screenshot just in case this recording didn't work. There we go. And I'll end the recording. Hi. It's Mrs. Stitches. I'm Sheila. Welcome to my Flosstube. It is week number 14. Welcome everybody. Welcome to all my new subscribers, and thank you for everyone, all my other subscribers who keep coming back, and anybody new, welcome. I'm really horrible at all the typical Flosstube things that people do. I watch others and I go, oh, I never do that. So today is mostly a mini WIP parade because I got lots of things I've worked on in the last 2+ weeks. I have 2 new starts, one start and finish. Let's see, and then a whole bunch. I had 24 hours of cross stitch where I worked on 4 projects and put in 36 hours on the weekend, and so I got lots of progress done on that. And I got some stats, which I'm also horrible at relaying as stats. I'm not sure if anybody really cares, but I have some stats. And not much in the way of life updates. It's mostly been cross stitching. It's been a good 2 weeks. It went by really fast, and that's about it. It's going to be mostly just WIPs and maybe some discussions in between. Some lessons I've learned, which is always my sort of theme, is lessons I've learned. So let's get started because it might be a long one. I'm going to try and go fast so it's not too long and I don't bore everybody too much, but let's get started. Okay, so today is, this is always the toughest part. I believe it's April, I want to say 28th. I think it's April 28th. See, the issue is always, I look at my phone and I'm recording with my phone, so I can't actually see the date. And when you're retired, all the days just blur together. So first thing I'm going to start off with is my daily piece, my focus piece. This is a stitch I am doing for my husband's birthday next in February 2023. I'm trying to get it finished by. I am right on target. And so this, somebody did guess it last week, but you have to go through the comments, and I'm going to leave it still a mystery for those that still want to guess. And feel free to guess in the comments. I'll give you a little kudos if you get it right. But you're going to watch this grow with me over the years. So it's looking fantastic, and it's working really well. My stitchy spot, and working daily on it, and I have a white cloth that I put on my lap to be able to see the stitches. But there we go. It's coming along great. It was part of my 24 hours of cross stitch, and you can't see the black stitch too well, but I put in on it, it's called Felix, that's what I call it, its name. And Felix got a total of 2,311 stitches just on the 24 hours cross stitch. Every day I put at least 100 stitches on it. So since I've seen you, it's probably got close to, next time I'll put the calculation in, but it's probably got close to 5,000 stitches in on it. That's the first one. Next was, this is a new start last time, so I did some more progress. So this is a Chatelaine. I'll try and get the glare away. So this is called Herbularius. It's part of a medieval garden. So what I have done is medieval herb garden. I have called it my Medieval Monday. So Medieval Monday, I have now worked 3 days on this, and I am really enjoying it. I put in a few beads just to see what it was like, but I don't have all the beads, and I don't have the Swarovski crystals, so I'm going to work at trying to get those over the year. But meanwhile, you just do the stitching. So this is what I've gotten done so far. I'm going to insert pictures. I took some pictures, or I might use the pictures for before and after next week, but this is, I love it. It takes a lot of concentration, but that's what I've gotten done so far. And the funny thing is, on this, they had one symbol. Now I got to show you the symbol. Oh, I don't have it here. It was, one was for red and one was for blue. And they were 3 lines, and one was bolded and one was not bolded. They were very, very similar. Do I have it up here? They were very, very similar. It took me a long time finding it. Anyways, bottom line is I did the blue in red, and then I luckily clued in. So I did have to do a bit of frogging because blue and red are significantly different. I should have clued in. So this is my progress on Herbie. That's what some people call it, but it's Chatelaine Medieval Herb Garden Herbularius. I'm not going to know how many stitches I have on the paper patterns. Suddenly I've done a real big switch to enjoying paper patterns. So that one is a challenge, but I like the challenge. So because it's a mandala, you're doing different directions. So it takes a lot of thinking, but once you get going on it, you can really get into it and kind of see where it's going and everything. So it's nice working on it one day. So it's every Monday. Then I have Wentzler Wednesday. So I'm working on Beautiful Plumage by Teresa Wentzler. And this I have now promised to somebody next year to pass the stash. So I have a timeline on finishing this. So this is 4 pages. They broke it up into even quarters. So every 3 months I'm going to get a page done. So that's my goal. And I'm coming along quite nicely. I think I'm actually right on schedule, if not a bit ahead. So this is what I've done so far. So as you can see, it's just a top corner up there. Kind of all that background is kind of nondescript right now, but I'm sure when the bigger picture is available, it'll make sense. So the interesting thing with this is everyone said that Teresa Wentzler's are challenging. So I spent probably 2 hours getting organized. Like I'll show you the list of flosses. So this is the list of flosses, all down here, all down there, and down there. And there's blends. There's lots of blends. And so you probably can't see it. It's not focusing, but they have a lot of blends in here. And what really drove me crazy was this wasn't in numerical order at all. And I couldn't figure out the logic. So I have some sheets. Hold on a sec. So if you recall, I don't know, probably about 4 Flosstubes back, somebody sent me a whole thing of stitch bows, and they included these sheets. And so I got out a bunch of them. And so what I did with this project is I went through and filled them in, and I put both the symbol and the color on the slot and also on the stitch bow. And so I put them in order, and then I realized what her rhyme and reason was, is they're a bit color coordinated, and so it's probably when they arise. So you got this kind of blues and greens, and then this is sort of miscellaneous colors. I think they're more of the actual peacock, and then this has got some browns and greens and some more browns and greens. So like I said, I spent 3 hours yesterday organizing this, and I made up some of the blends. I think I still have 5 more blends to make, and I got a little bit burnt out, but I will finish off the 5 blends probably as I come to them. So, but I think getting organized, once I did that, and the other thing I did was, and I'm sure people know this, is I took a photograph of the page I'm stitching, imported it into Pattern Keeper, and then I'm filling it in as I go, because it was really hard. There's so many symbols working off and we don't have a photocopier accessible here. I don't even know where the nearest photocopier is. And so I don't want to mark this up because I'm passing it on, and there's something about marking up an original. So this works really well because it acts as marking it up. And one thing I discovered, and I'm sure everyone knows this, when you do the photo into Pattern Keeper, it doesn't recognize the symbols. It's just really just the PDF shown there. And then there's a way to highlight them. As soon as you press one, you can press this little, it looks like a search button, and that highlights them. So you can go through and highlight them, and you can unhighlight them, which looks like a zooming out. And then you can go through and click them as you go. So it's much more like Pattern Keeper. So it's a little intensive, but and then you make the color so it's see-through instead of just blacking out. Make it translucent, the color, because it only colors in one, a gray, as opposed to doing the color coding. So it's a way to work around, and it made it much better. So I have put in probably around about 900 or 800 stitches in it. So that's great, and it's going much better. Okay, next, so that was Wednesday, and then on Fridays I'm working on Flower Friday. So this is Language of Flowers by Rosewood Manor. And I'll just tilt that a bit so we don't get too much glare. I love this one. Oh my gosh. So tomorrow's Friday. Today's Thursday. And that's why tomorrow's Friday. And I'm so looking forward to working on it. So this was part of my 24 hours. Oh, where'd my little thing go? 24 hours of cross stitch. I worked on 4 projects. Felix, this, and then Fruits of Plenty and Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow, which I hadn't finished their monthly goal. So I had some work to get done on that. So this was sort of my reward piece it was the 3rd project I worked in the day. So it got, on the weekend alone, oh, I got my stats here. Sorry. So Language of the Flowers got a total of 7, and 3 is 10, and almost 10 and a half hours. And I don't know how many stitches because it's paper pattern and I'm not going to count the stitches. I am trying to do a page a month. There's 12 pages, and I'm pretty close to finishing this. I still have tomorrow, and all that's left is a tiny bit in this corner. So I should easily finish up this page. So that is my Language of the Flowers. I am doing my own colors. And it's just fantastic. There's such a mix of colors. I'm doing some Braid and Needle. I'm doing some LA, Live and Die LA. I'm doing some Almond M&Ms. I'm doing some DMC. Just doing all sorts, but I love it. It's deceptive the time, but I love it, and it's beautiful. Did do one major mistake, but I ain't pulling it out, and that's here. These flowers were actually supposed to be off of that knob, not that knob, so they are a little wrong, but that's okay. That's all right. So I love it. So there is my Language of the Flowers. And again, I don't know how many stitches I've actually done, but it's had now 2 days. It had, I think it had 2 Fridays. No, it has 1 Friday and then the 24 hours of cross stitch. So it's had, I believe, 4 or 5 days on it. So that's the Language of Flowers. Awesome. Okay, that's one of my favorites. So like I said, with the 24 hours of cross stitch, wow, I keep not looking at the camera. The other chores I was really looking forward to getting done was my monthly stitch alongs. So the first there is Modern Folk Embroidery's Fruits of Plenty, which was the 2021 sal. And I had April's block to do, and I got it done. So there you go. That's Fruits of Plenty 2021. So that I had quite a bit to go, and it took me all weekend. I actually dipped in, so I was doing 3 hours on each project, so it was 12 hours a day. and I actually dipped in and did a bit extra time on it. So it ended up getting, I did 1,467 stitches on it on the weekend. So got that completed, and so now I'm just waiting for next month to start and move over to the next block. And then I'm going through this pretty fast. I hope it's a bit of a WIP parade. Woohoo! So sorry about that. I hope people don't mind. I just don't want it to be really too long. Then the other one I worked on was Halloween at Hawker and Hollow. This 12th block, so I've been working, I started up in this corner here, and then I decided to go counterclockwise. And so I'm right now on block, they're actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm actually kind of, I did 1, then 5, then 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 12 was what was this month. And it was full coverage. And they are 90 by 90 blocks, like it's 92 across, but inside the black square is 90 by 90, which would be 8,100 stitches. So that was quite a task. So before the 24 hours happened, I got everything done except the background sand. So that was my end of the day, because it was just fill in. So it was kind of really mindless, and I just plowed away. Again, there's no count on the stitches, but I put in approximately 12 hours on it. And I did get it done. I think I had to do an extra 10 minutes or something, but it was pretty close, which is pretty cool. So I'll show you the whole thing first. I did take photos too. There's the whole work. And then I will show you specifically the block. I like the way it turned out, but it was a lot to stitch. But I did have a major mistake. I messed up on my spacing, and so I think I did an extra space here, and so I had to squeeze those. And so it reads, "In Our Graves" by Glowworm Night. And the graves by is really close together, but it is what it is. You have to get yourself back on track. So that is block number 12 of Halloween at Hawker and Hollow. It's come along great. I'm really happy with this fabric I chose. I think it's 36 count. It's called Denim Days, I believe, and I can't remember the name of the dyer. It's not a recognizable one. I got it in one of Bendy Stitchy's D-stashes. But there you go. There you go. That's Halloween at Hawker and Hollow. So those were the 24 hours cross stitch. The interesting thing about the 24 hours of cross stitch, doing 12 hours each day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I realized, and my husband said this, is that you stitch a lot anyways. That's not much of a challenge. Originally, I was going to do 10 hours each day, and I think I clued in shortly that that wasn't going to be a challenge, because I probably easily stitch 8 hours a day. We kind of joke that it's my job. I'm retired and better get to work, and that's it. So I liked having the 4 projects and focusing 3 hours on it each. Probably do that again in another 24 hours, but I always want to keep challenging myself too. So that was quite doable. You know, I got up a little bit early every morning, so I was starting stitching by 6-ish, and I stitched till around 9:30. I think one night I had to go till a little bit after 10. That was the last night because I slept in a bit in the morning, but it was all quite doable, you know, and I had time for breaks. The next one, I'm going to do something crazy challenge. So I will get to that. I will tell you when it's going to be staying up a lot longer, and it'll be challenging myself in the extreme because my birthday happens during it. So at the very end of it on the Sunday. So that'll be my next challenge. Oh, I just remembered what I forgot. I'm going to put the draw in at the very end of this for, I should have put it at the start. Sorry, I'm going to actually insert it at the start. The draw for last week's. Anyways, I'm going to have to cut that up. Okay, on to more projects. So we had Medieval Monday, Wentzler Wednesday, and Flower Friday. Got one other project that I need to get work done on that's kind of fallen a bit by the wayside. I'm actually 2 months behind on this, and that's my Twisted Band sampler. And so I'm calling it Twisted Tuesday. And right now, while I'm done my monthly commitments, I'm working a little bit extra on this in the evening. So this is my Twisted Band sampler. I am actually, this is the corner right here. So I've gotten to the corner and then I'm going down. I'm working on band 6. I really should have by the end of this month band 7 done. So that's what I mean by a bit behind, but I love it. It's fun. I had to correct a major mistake, and so I think I'm on track. I did a lot of counting, did some fudging, and I think I'm corrected. So I think that's my Twisted Band sampler, and nobody's going to notice my mistakes. So I can point them out to you, but I don't think there's any point. It'll probably be obvious as I carry on because there's spacing issues. Okay, so those were some of my WIPs. I also, as I said, had a start and a finish. This is my roommate at Stitch North, Shell, designed this, and she gave me the pattern and the fabric and the floss. It's stitched with Leo and Roxy floss, and to test stitch it for her. And so there you go. That's Black Cat Cafe. Isn't that a cute cat? The way she did the letters were so much fun. They were really a joy to stitch. I loved her styling on the letters, and I just love the cat too. And one thing I don't know, and I've heard somebody else mention this in Flosstubing, and Shell told me this too, is you can always stitch upside down the exact same way, and the stitches look the same. So what I did with this was I started to center start, and I came down the tail, and then I turned it upside down and I stitched all the cat, and then I turned it back right side up and did the letters. It doesn't matter when you go upside down, they're still crossed over the same way. It's sort of similar, like sometimes when I'm going up, instead of going from bottom to top, bottom left to top right, I'll go top right to bottom left. It's the exact same thing when you turn it upside down. You're getting that same thing. It's just coming from the top to the bottom as opposed to top to bottom. And they're being crossed is always still the right. If you're always having your right arm crossed over, it's still being the right arm crossed over, even if it's upside down. So it's a neat trick to do if you're having a hard time traveling around or stuff like that. So I think it was actually, it's watching 24 Hours Cross Stitch. Jen Lee was talking about that, of stitching them upside down at times. So again, that's Black Cat Cafe. That was a start and a finish. I did that over a couple of nights, and I think it's really cute. I might even do a second stitch on that one. The other project that I haven't shown you in some time that I work on is my temperature tree. And you can see we're getting into a little bit warmer weather with the yellows in there. I now decided to stitch it. I just stitch it. I'm collecting the temperatures and I'm stitching it once a week. So that's my Sunday chore or Monday chore. So that's my temperature tree. Oops. I would recommend anybody who's doing this to stitch your tree first a year ahead. It's such a saving grace. I see other people struggling getting their tree done. I got mistakes in my tree and I have to fudge some of the leaves, but having the whole thing there, I kind of know exactly what I'm doing. So that's my temperature tree. I think they all look sort of the same in the end, but it's still fun to see your own temperatures showing up. And this is such a big piece of fabric. I think I might do something else, like have the tree as 2022, then do something else for 2023 on the same piece, and then do something else for 2024 on the same piece. So I might just keep adding to it because I got lots of room. So I was thinking like the butterflies could go in here somewhere. And I could put the flowers. I got the pattern for the flowers, so I'll probably be doing the flowers next year and doing that blowing in the background. So I have to kind of plot that out a bit. Then there's been some rainy days. I'm a bit behind. Even today's a rainy day on my rainy day stitch, but I thought I'd pull it out and show you since I'm already doing a whole bunch. So this is my rainy day stitch. It's Modern Folk Embroidery, The River. And since you've seen it last, I have gotten quite a bit done, or more done. So that's, I think, mostly I'm working right now. There's a big huge vase in the center here and flowers around, and then it's going to square off again. But that's where I'm kind of working on it. So it's beautiful, and I probably should, after this, stitch some more on it. So yesterday rained and today rained and I didn't stitch. So I'm going to do, what I do is I do a length of thread on rainy days, which is really 3 lengths of thread because it's variegated. So I'm taking off 2 strands at once. And so it's around about that long, maybe that long length. And so I'm doing 3 sets of 2 strands in. And so it takes me about an hour to do that. So this will be 2 hours, 2 hours more worth of work. So you get quite a bit done at that time. And that's the end of my stack. Wow. So I'm going to carry on with my days that I've designated. So we have those 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. As soon as the month starts, I get back onto Fruits Plenty and Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, and work on those, get their monthly done. I'll probably maybe devote like a Saturday to one and a Sunday to the other. And other than that, I'm just going to keep on stitching. Life-wise, I just have a I don't know when we did this, but we went and got, I have a little MGB. We call her Molly Golly B. And we had her in storage for the winter, and we went and got her. And so I'm trying to, I bought her about 2 years ago, but I haven't driven her very much. And so I actually don't drive much at all. I used to drive all the time, but when we got married, it was easier just to let my husband drive, and I get to stitch when he drives. And so it's only if I'm going someplace on my own. And so I have to actually make an effort to go out and drive her. So our library now is kind of getting back to normal-ish. And so I almost every week go over to the library. So I'm going to start driving Molly over to the library. It's not a long drive. It's funny. I put a CD in her. I'm going to insert a video here of me driving Molly. And then, and so I put the CD in, and it was out, this is dating me, but some of you might not even know this, but it was Tracy Chapman's Fast Cars. And it actually took almost the whole trip there and back for the song to end, because when I turn her off, because it's just a short little drive to the ferry. Like, I could walk all this. It's probably a total of 15-minute walking there, 15-minute back, but you have a ferry ride in between. But I decided to drive Molly. So anyways, it was kind of just fun to drive it, and this car that she has a little bit, she's speed challenged. The speedometer reads wrong, and so when it's reading 100, I'm really only going 80 an hour. And when I get up to 90, I think it reads 110, and it feels like you're going 110. And so I tend not to go much beyond 90. If I have to get on a highway that is 100 or 110, I have trouble getting up that high. So it's ironic to be playing it, but I like to make her feel like she can go really fast. So that's kind of fun. So yeah, we're getting back to sort of normal with I'm kind of going over, I go over every odd Tuesday is our fiber group, and then the even Tuesday is either bridge or our book club. And so that's fun. Got a dentist appointment coming up soon, just a cleaning. Was thinking of driving Molly. That's a bit longer of a drive. It's probably about an hour plus an hour and a half there. And the time is a bit tight in getting there. Again, you time it with a ferry. So if I catch an hour earlier ferry, then I'm going to be like, I'll just get there in time. If I can do the speed limit. So I don't think I'll take Molly. I think I'll take a regular car. I think that's about it. Life goes on, and the weather here is kind of, yeah, it's spring. It's gotten a little cold, dreary, some foggy days, some rainy days, drizzly days. Got some bulbs coming up. I've started some plants in my little sunroom, but mostly it's stitching. Lots and lots of stitching. So, like I said, I got the hopefully I've inserted at the start the winner for the giveaway last week. Thank you everybody for who entered. I am really pleased with that. So that I got more comments this time, and I'm trying something different with a little spinning wheel. So I'm going to record that, and I'm going to add on the very beginning the winner and the announcement of the winner. So the winner, please. Actually, you know what? I'll do that right now. Okay. Okay, so I just did the recording and of the spin. I just did the spin right now, and tall grass lane stitches. So I'm going to include this at the beginning and at the end. Well, this is the end. So with tall grass lane stitches, please email me. I'm going to put in the comments, in your comment, that you're a comment about you winning, and also my email address. So email me your mailing address, and I'll get that out to you as soon as I can. Congratulations, Tall Grass Lane Stitches, and thank you everybody for entering. And that's it for me. So have a great week, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, or around the 15th-ish, sometime around then. Take care. Bye.